Hey guys, welcome back. So sorry it's been like 4 or 5 days, so I guess it just depends on when I get this thing uploaded. A lot longer than I like to leave you guys without content, but it's been kind of busy around here, but with like weird things all over the place. I've got a bunch of partial videos ready for projects that we've been building under the Homestead Craftsman thing we talked about in previous videos. And we're right now in my shop slash was a garage space that we've, it's where we filmed a lot of the videos on the, Piglet stuff, when you just see me sitting and chatting with you a lot of times. This was just a single car garage. Yeah, the door's small enough for a single car, with a little bit of space on either side that we walled in years ago, back when we used to do farm to table dinners, which is why we have these nice fancy wine bottle, spirit bottle, Edison bulb things on top. The ceiling is painted a nice black, and we've got the fake beams and everything. This was it for farm to table dinners. We used to do like 27 people in here at a time, so we got the pallet back wall and everything. But then when we quit doing those, we kind of just started doing other stuff. We built the first climbing wall during the first COVID lockdown, and then more recently built this one, which you guys have seen a lot of in backgrounds of me talking. But as I'm starting to use the shop more and more, and it's not just a like, oh, I can run out and kind of do something in the shop, and it's more so important to what I'm doing, I really need to update this thing. And honestly, these, as cool as they are, right, are actually a nightmare in a shop because I hit them all the time. The lighting isn't real great. So there are lots of updates that are going to be happening in the shop here that you guys are going to get to see videos of. Essentially, honestly, I'm tearing that entire section of ceiling out. I guess we could just roll into that. So you can tell right now that the shop is a disaster. I have just come home from doing a couple of jobs, and so like I've got tools just laying out on the ground, stuff just blocking things. It's kind of a nightmare right now. But we're going to be changing up this space a ton. Okay, so I'm going to be tearing out this ceiling to expose the rafters up there so that I can build some storage shelves and racks, so that it'll be a 4-foot opening with 8 foot on either side, so I can slide full 8-foot lengths of. Because see, the problem is I do so many different things, right? I do a lot of plumbing stuff, I do a lot of electrical stuff, I do a lot of woodworking, tile, honestly, you name it, I've been doing it. Which means I have to have a lot of diverse types of tools that kind of just make no sense, and a lot of spare parts that don't make a lot of sense, and they're long and awkward. So I need a better way to store those. Some of those things, some of like the big heavy pieces like live edge slab stuff I've got, they'll be stored out in the barn, and we're going to clean the barn up in another upcoming video very soon, because this big shelf over here is going to be going out into the barn so that I can have more benchtop space over there for a few other tools like a drill press, scroll saw, things like that. So we're going to clean that up. That shelf is going to come down, and that's what today's video is going to be, is just time lapse of me clearing up and cleaning out some of this shop, so you can kind of see open space and get a feel for what we're going to be doing in here. Because honestly, one of the biggest projects I'm going to be working on, I took this week off from doing side jobs in order to, okay, some good news for you. We're going to start vending at a farmer's market. And what that means is I need a couple things. I need a sign. I don't want to buy just a banner, right? I have a shop, and maybe this will help give me some promotion for other jobs. I don't need any jobs lined out. I'm pretty well lined out for the next couple months. But, it's always nice to be able to throw your name out there and people will be able to come to it. So we're going to make a custom sign with a wooden backsplash on it, or backdrop. And then we're going to scroll saw out Green Thicket Farm on it, so you're going to see a video of that soon. And then we're going to make a encasement for the deep freeze, so it's not just a deep freeze. One, I wanted it to be on wheels, so I can roll it on and off of a trailer. We actually get to store it at this farmer's market because it's an indoor market that is just a warehouse building, essentially, but it's really cool. I can't wait to show you guys some videos of this place. But we're going to get to store freezers there, which is awesome. It means I don't have to haul it back and forth. And I should be able to get a fly bothering me. Ought to be able to store signage and everything there too, which will be fantastic. Which means I can kind of go a little bit more all out, right? Because I don't need to worry about rolling up a banner and all these little stuff. I can store a fair amount of it there. And since I'm already going to be putting the freezer on wheels so they can move it around if it's in the way of an event, I was like, well, I want to make this thing look nice. Like, this is indoors and I can afford it because I'm not, like, afford the extra weight and stuff because I'm not hauling it around that frequently. It's just go in there, and then unless we ever got to bring it back for something, it's there. So we can make a nice, pretty surround for it, which is, I haven't seen many people do that with deep freezes for markets or anything like that. But I brew beer and hard cider, so I built a big old kegerator. And so I've seen a lot of people do this for keezers, which are keg freezers. They just convert a freezer into a fridge. And I've seen them make some really pretty ones, and I'm like, oh, I could totally do that for our farmer's market deep freeze. So we're going to do that and make that sign. Those are our two big projects for this week, along with cleaning this shop up to where I actually have room to work and kind of start shifting things around to where it's going to be for that final layout. Like I said, we're going to have the storage areas up top. That probably won't happen this week. But we're going to move that shelf out of here, which means getting rid of a lot of the stuff that's on the shelf that I don't actually need or use. Moving that big green rack over here on this wall, moving our bandsaw out of the way, moving our flammables closet around, and just kind of laying out this table that we already have in here isn't the one, and I don't think you guys can really see that very well. It's not the one that's going to remain in here. We're going to build a custom table with a table saw built in and build our router table up into that and build some drawers and shelves. But it's pretty close. That's a 6 foot by 3 foot table, and the table that I'm going to be custom building, which you guys will get to see in a future video when I build it, is going to be a 4 foot by 6 foot table. And you may be asking, why not just build a 4 foot by 8 foot? I would, but we need to be able to access that space up there. This isn't that big of a garage space. I'm down to, this whole shop is going to be a 20 foot across, and I lose 2 foot on the wall because of our shelves that we already have over here, which I can't mess with too much because it's where my wife stores our climbing holds and dog food and stuff like that. I do get the bottom shelf for my welder and a few other things, which eventually we'll move out when we build a building for metalworking over here by where I have my 220 outlet. So we're going to be pulling off, we'll also, and probably do some of that today because I think we're going to reuse, haven't decided fully yet, we're either going to reuse this pallet wood that's on the wall for the encasement of the freezer and everything, or I've got a bunch of cedar fence pickets left over from building our bat, bird, and bee houses, which I still need to do videos on those, but you can find these on our website. So these are all made from cedar fence pickets. These are, oh, we got some dust on there. These are made from those just cedar fence pickets. So I have a lot of that. I have a lot of that just laying around. Sorry, I hit a rock ring. I have a lot of this just laying in storage. So I'm going to use a bunch of those probably for that. Maybe that's what I'll use for the sign too. I really like the idea of the pallet wood, but honestly, pallet wood's a nightmare to work with. So, yeah. Without further ado, let's throw you guys on time lapse and start cleaning this place up and making it actually functionable. So I know you said we were going to swap those, do the green over there and the flammables cabinet over there. And I know it looks like I'm cleaning, but honestly I'm just moving a bunch of stuff over here. So then I get to clean that. But anywho, the reason why I decided to swap this and do this one on this side, even though it juts off the wall a little more, I don't know, it may clear up, open this aisle up a little bit more for me. But the big reason is, and this has bothered us since we got it, over in this corner, I have no outlet. The only power I have is up there, which needs to be moved and changed anyways, at least repaired. It's not got a cover or anything. It's really sketched. It's a metal box. I hate metal boxes. But we have the outlet that the AC unit is plugged into back here. If we can get the lighting to fix. Yeah, there you go. So to just plug the cord here in, because this unit has there's a bunch of stuff in the way, but it's got a power strip with 2 USBs and 3 regular plugins to be able to put our tools on to charge. So this needs all cleaned off. Obviously that was one of the things we wanted to do, but now we have a space to put all the tools to charge on. So that seemed like a much smarter option. So now we can actually use that power strip. All right, let's call that the end of video 1. I'll give you a quick show, make sure my phone is screwed in. A quick show of video 1. Oh, which that actually reminds me, it's all the way at the end of the video here to give you guys an update on that. So hopefully you made it through the roughly what I think is 10 minutes of this video. We did get a new pivot. So they looked at where they had come apart. There was no breakage or anything, nothing was broken. The little pieces, those little tabs in there, and they kind of like twist and come off. And there's no way to really put them back together. It maybe happened when it's fallen over one of the like dozens of times. But I talked it through them at the support center, and they just thought that it was a defect in that one. So they sent me a brand new one. So we have a new pivot. That worked out pretty quick. They got it back nice and fast. Just in case you guys were wondering, so I definitely still, we've got an affiliate link in all the bottom of our videos for the pivos. So you get an extra 10% off, and then we also get 10% of that if you buy a pivot. Really can't say enough nice things about that, especially since they replaced it, even though it may have been my fault. And I'm using currently, because I need to open another package, just the top piece that broke off as the base for this. But let's show you what we've got done so far. And then it's supposed to storm pretty bad, but I need to go assemble that shelf in the barn so that we can move some of this crud that I've rearranged in here out to the barn. So part 1 of barn cleanup and part 1 of garage cleanup and shop rebuild will probably drop roughly the same time. I'll probably drop the shop one tonight. If you're seeing it, you're probably seeing it tonight. And then the garage or barn one will probably be tomorrow. And then this whole week I'm just cranking in here on the shop and on the farmer's market stuff. So you'll get a lot of build videos, and then if I get some time, I really need to start clearing out ragweed out there. So I'm gonna start cutting ragweed and hanging it in the barn as some of the barn is cleared up for tree hay. It's not tree hay, but people in a lot of the tree hay groups even talk about it being used for that. So I'm gonna call it the same thing at this point, but really it's just, essentially think big tobacco bundles. And then we've got a wood chipper, so I may chip it into like like shredded hay, essentially, to add in to feed in the winter. So we'll see. That'll be a kind of a funky experiment. But let's show you what we got. Sorry. So we have, you know what, let's take this off this. Starting with the pretty area here. So we got that all cleared out, okay? Next video will probably entail, one, me pulling a bunch of this, we're gonna get to in a second, but pulling that stuff out to the barn. But we're gonna pull all this off the walls, at least up to there, and then when we'll slide that out later, we'll do it. But I really don't wanna mess up my workspace there. So we're just gonna do up to this. Now, it does look really cool, so it is kind of sad to see it go. But the problem is I want to mount some French cleat storage things to the wall. So we're gonna build a French cleat system for all the stuff that's gonna go, so that I have little bins for, you know, wire nuts or any number of things. There's so many things I can build for a French cleat wall system, which you guys get to see that pretty soon. So don't worry, you can either Google it until then, but within the next few weeks, you'll start to see some of that going up, so don't worry. But I need a flat wall for that. So we're gonna take this stuff off, and I'll save the barn tin and all the cedar boards and all the pallet boards, so we can use those in other projects. They'll just get stored in the barn for now. For now, we've got this whole disaster here, which will need to get cleaned up more and slid out of the way so we can actually work in here. The bandsaw, all this, but a lot of this stuff needs to go out in the barn, and so that's where we're gonna go run out and work in the barn before it starts raining. So we can move a lot of this out there on the shelf system that we just took down, and that'll clear up barn space. I also want to put the whiteboard up in here somewhere, and I just have to decide where I want that's gonna be the most efficient and useful to me, without losing, because I'll obviously lose a ton of wall storage space. Probably on this wall somewhere, because we're gonna do our scroll saw right here coming off, so there'll be an 18-inch deep bench, which means I won't have to lean over the wall very far to write, okay? But then we'll do the scroll saw here coming off the corner, and then I think the bandsaw is going, oh no, the sander's gonna go here, and then I think the bandsaw goes in the corner here. I need to look at my plans again. But then that gives us all this space to run long pieces on the chop saw, which we're gonna build a built-in T-track stop system for it, so that as we're cutting, we can just slide it over, thread down the T-nut, so we have a stop block built in on both sides. And then drill press will either go over here or go over there on that wall. Yeah, all right. Let's go work in the barn. Real quick before we actually sign off and I head out to the garage, or the barn. Ugh, too many places. I like throwing this here at the end, because if you made it to the end, then it means you probably enjoyed most of the video. So if you did, and you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're interested in, you know, staying up to date on when we drop new videos, so you can keep up to date on these projects as I'm continuing to roll along. Who knows how many part series this one will be, to do this and both the barn, with all of the changes that'll be happening to both of those, to hopefully make our farm life, farm shop, and handyman shop a bit more efficient for everybody involved. So if you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then, you know, if you got thoughts on this video, things I could do in the shop, things I could do in the barn, just things you'd like to see videos on, I've got a big old list of ideas of things I still want to get done and film. I'm pretty far behind on projects right now, but I'm always open to hear more things, and I want to know what you guys want to see, because you guys are the reason I'm making these. I really don't like seeing myself on camera most times, so it's definitely not a vanity thing. It is because I'm attempting to get knowledge and education out there, and I learn a lot just watching other people's YouTube videos, so I'm hoping that with all the different projects and stuff we're doing, that I can help somebody else, if nothing else, learn from my mistakes, or just get ideas from how I did it so they can do it better to suit their own situation. So, yeah, catch y'all next time.